Welcome back to another week of Instigating with Clarky and Drury, brought to you as always by our friends at Coolbet Canada, the Listowel Squash Courts, Listowel Vision Care, See the Game, and our friends at Hanover Raceway. Don't miss all the excitement of live harness racing every Saturday from June 4th right through September 17th. Post time always at 1:30 p.m. Bring the family and come have a great time enjoying the sights and sounds. We bet you'll love it. Visit them at hanoverraceway.com for details on their upcoming events. Very pleased to be joined by my regular co-host, Mr. Chris Clark, and we're very pleased to have a good friend of ours on the show as well, the newest member of the front office of the PGHL Pollock Division champion, Mitchell Hawks, our buddy Scott Bridge. Bridgie, it's a pleasure to have you on the show. We've had you on before. It's great to have you on in this capacity. It's a little different. First of all, congrats, brother. I mean, I'm so proud of you. I'm really excited for you. Just tell us how you're feeling and how this kind of all fell into place.
Well, yeah, thanks very much for having me on. I appreciate this, guys. Big fan of the show. Feeling pretty good. It's been a busy last couple weeks with spring skate now fully completed. We had almost 40 kids out to the spring skate for the Mitchell Hawks in Stratford the last couple weeks, and a lot of talent that was brought out to the spring skate too as well. So that's positive, very positive. We got a lot of positive feedback from last year and everything that the Mitchell Hawks did as an organization and what they did on the ice. So we're looking to repeat that again this year, and it's been busy. Coaching staff, the executives, they've all been fantastic to work with, and they've all welcomed me in, and just appreciate all the positivity that's been going on the last couple of weeks as well.
A lot of people go into a new job and it's nowhere to go but up. You have quite the pillar to reach here, Bridgie, with the success of the Hawks last year. How are you going to do it?
Well, that's a great question, Clarky. Luckily, we've got some great returning players coming back, and that was step number one, making sure that the right pieces came back that made a big difference last year. Very difficult losing the 4 OAs that left. Obviously, they were a big part of the championship. But just making sure that you bring the right pieces back. I think that's the biggest factor that's going to help you get to where you were last year. And another thing is don't take anything for granted, right? I mean, when you're healthy, run with it. If you're banged up, just be thankful that you've got some big pieces coming in that are going to help you keep rolling along and get you to the next level.
And Coach Louis will be back? Is that right?
Yep. Yeah. Louis Livingston is back behind the bench. Ken Jacquelin's back. Holden Landsink's back. And Ben Nelson is back on the bench too as well. So very excited to have all 4 of them back. I really respect all 4 of them. I've been lucky enough to follow Ben Nelson through his whole junior career, as well as Holden Landsink. Followed them right from when they were rookies to their OA years with CKNX. So got good relationships with them, and also been following and talking to Livingston for a lot of years as well. And Ken Jacquelin, just getting to know him better as a person. He's a phenomenal human being and a great hockey mind. So yeah, the bench is loaded with lots of knowledge and the utmost respect for them.
You've got a lot of people there. Obviously, Bridgie, you mentioned that you can lean on, of course, Josh Keel, who, was the general manager, has moved up. He's going to be the director of hockey ops and the president of the team now. And, we had him on when the season ended against Stayner. It was tough. The team was really beat up. I would have liked to have seen what they could have done in that series if everybody was healthy. But you mentioned you've got a lot of great returning players, and some young guys that were forced into the lineup because of all those injuries are going to come back next year. And, you and I got ice level views of some of those kids, and they did not look out of place in critical playoff games, which is really good. So you got a great foundation there. But I wonder, you broadcast a lot of games on CKNX with our friend Steve Sabrin. you and I rode shotgun together for quite a few games, including the long playoff run this year. And we're going to miss you on the broadcast, man. But this is an interesting step for you, right? Because, I mean, look, we've been friends for a long time, Bridgie. We've had a lot of discussions about hockey. And I think that you're a great fit for this because you know the game inside and out. You've seen so many games. You know this team inside and out from last year's run. What's it like adjusting from being a broadcaster to stepping into a pretty key executive role with a really successful team? It's got to be quite an adjustment.
It's a big adjustment, but that's been so much fun to get adjusted to. The nice thing is, like you said, Ryan, we had a front row seat to the team in the playoffs last year. So you get to know some of these kids, talking to them before the game, on the bus, after the game, just around the rink. So that's been nice. All the kids that have come out to help at the spring skate, you know them individually, and you just talk hockey with them, and that's been awesome. Again, very tight-knit group for some of these kids to come out and help at spring skate on their summer off, right? So it just goes to show you the passion that they have for the Mitchell Hawks, and that's a big thing we have in common. And obviously, when it comes to the game of hockey, if it's a lot easier to get along with somebody if you've got the sports mind in common. So that's been fun. And it is a big adjustment. Obviously, it's going to be a little different. Now you're automatically kind of thrown in to help make decisions on who we're going to take, who we're not going to take, who we're going to offer cards to, who we're not going to offer cards to. But it's not just me. It's everybody. The coaches are involved. Josh is involved. We make it a team of decision makers, so the blame just doesn't fall on one person. That's the way it should be at that level.
Well, you do got a big summer ahead of you to get that team in order, and the Stanley Cup playoffs going on right now. Tampa and Colorado. We've chatted along the way with our beloved Maple Leafs. Going to Game 7 against Tampa. Then we see Tampa sweep Florida. Then we see them after a long layoff lose a couple games to the Rangers, then beat them 4 straight. I still think the Leaf-Tampa series has been the series of this playoff. First of all, the Leafs looks like they're going to be back with the same bunch next year. What do you think of that, and who do you like in this year's playoffs in the Stanley Cup final?
I think it's fantastic that the Leafs are bringing a lot of the core back. The big question mark is going to be Jack Campbell. What's going to happen with him? I was talking to one guy today, and he said, "Did you hear the rumblings about John Gibson for William Nylander?" And I said, "I don't like that." I said, "You may as well just bring back Campbell. It's you keep Nylander."
Jury might have something to say about that one.
I like the core, and the big thing is they always say you've got to lose before you win, and the Pittsburgh Penguins went through it, but they did win shortly after that. It just always go back to that. You got to lose before you win. You got to have the hunger. If you win too early, then well, that's fantastic, but it just doesn't seem to happen all that often. We even look at Colorado. They've had the same core together for the last number of years and haven't won a cup, but they just stick together. They add some pieces, they stick together, they add some pieces, and now look where they are. I like the look of Tampa when they played the Leafs. They're a good hockey club. I would like to see Colorado win. That's just my biased opinion. Been a big McKinnon fan for a number of years. Cale Makar, I love that guy on defense. He is phenomenal. And it'd just be nice to see someone new win the Stanley Cup. Is that fair to say, guys?
Yeah, I mean, I think that new blood is never a bad thing, and I think a lot of people would be happy for Nate, obviously. Personally, with, both of our favorite teams long out, I'm really not bothered by either or. I love the Tampa organization. I love what they've done, and they have risen the bar in the cap era to a new level beyond what any other team's been able to do. And if they win 3 straight and become literally an all-time dynasty. Like 3 straight just does not happen. It hasn't happened since the Islanders won 4 straight. So it's an extremely rare occurrence. So that would be a really cool story. And I mean, Bridgie, you know this. I love Steven Stamkos. He's probably my favorite Canadian player. But then on the other side, Colorado, I mean, just a great organization run by their all-time greatest player in Joe Sakic, who's done a lot of aggressive maneuvering over the last couple of years. I think it'd be good. We're filming this on Thursday the 16th after game 1. What an entertaining game in Colorado. They came out flying. Tampa wrestled themselves back in it, but then my old buddy Andre Burakovsky quickly in overtime. He is a Tampa killer, remember? What were your impressions of game 1? Because I thought Tampa, I actually thought that was the worst game they played all playoffs.
It could have been. It could have been easily their worst game of the playoffs. I thought when Colorado went up 3-1 that they had that game wrapped up. And but you can't count them out, right? You can't count the Lightning out of any game. And I don't know. I'm not sure. Darcy Kemper, it's a good goaltender. I think that Colorado's defense, at times they can really cover up some mistakes that he throws their way. So I'm not real sold on him in net for being the difference maker back there for Colorado. Just my personal opinion. I know that a lot of people may not agree with me, but
well, he's not Vasilevsky, Bridge.
No, he's not
even close to
like
that.
when you're when you're
close.
looking down the ice, that I don't even think that I can call Vasilevsky an X factor in this series, because just on pure talent alone, there is no comparison. Kemper is going to have to be good to really good in probably 1 or 2 of these games. And he was good last night when they won game 1. He was good. He was good enough. 2 of the goals I wasn't a huge fan of. I actually thought they were 2 goals that most of the time Vasilevsky, who had a sleepy start. It was the first time all play. I believe it's the first time.
Game 1s, he hasn't played well.
Last night was the first time, Wednesday night, the first time in his playoff career that he gave up 3 first period goals.
Wow.
So you look at it and go, really good for Colorado to win the first game on home ice. No question. You cannot go down and go back to Tampa. So good start for them. But I look at it the other way and kind of just because of who Tampa is, and they deserve this kind of benefit of the doubt, if you will. I'd love your opinion on this, Bridgie. I look at it and say Vasilevsky had his worst first period in his playoff career. He settled down. They turned it around and edged back in, and Braden Point is back in the lineup. Now, he didn't look very good, but I actually think that if that's as bad as it can get for Vasilevsky and that team defensively, that's kind of scary, because even with them playing not that great, they went to overtime and clawed back from 3 down. So that's a factor for me. Kemper is going to really have to play the best hockey of his career to knock this beast down, Bridgie.
Yeah, exactly. He'll have to do that, and we all know that who he's facing in the other end too as well. So, like I said, I'm just not. Like I said a few moments ago, I'd like to see Colorado win. I think they've got a great team to do it, but a big question mark is between the pipes, and I don't know why. It's just that gut feeling.
He's not an outstanding goalie. He's not even close.
Right.
But they can win with him. I'm not saying they can't win with him.
Yeah.
They can.
Yes.
But they have to play well, and he's got to play, as Ryan said, good to better than good in a couple of games. But I don't know. I'm leaning, and we might as well give some picks here. I'm leaning towards Tampa winning this thing. I just think they're the when push comes to shove, they're going to be the better team, and they have the better goalie. And lots of times it comes down to that. And I just want to get your predictions on games and winners, and then I want to ask you about a play last night. Ryan, why don't you go next?
Well, I said in my fantasy league group chat that I actually had Tampa in 5, which, I mean, I know producer Adam's throwing stuff behind the camera right now because I'm selling his Colorado Avalanche short, but it's because of what we saw last night and what we've seen this team do. Down 2-0 to the Rangers. The Leafs spanked them. What was it? 5-0. 5-0 game 1.
Yeah.
It just does not matter.
Yeah.
The water rolls off these guys' backs like no team that we have seen in this salary cap era. And for that reason, I'm actually going to stick with Tampa in 5. And Colorado won last night. Would any of us be shocked to see Tampa rattle off 4 in a row? No. I would not be. And I'm probably going to be made to look like a fool. And I feel bad. I am selling Colorado short. But Vasilevsky, they played terrible last night, I felt, and still forced overtime. Vasilevsky, I mean, the guy's on overtime. They call him John Wick. Until somebody kills John Wick, he is alive and well. And Nikita Kucherov is that guy where he didn't play very well last night, and he wears that. And he knows guys are writing, boy, where was Kucherov? Where was Kucherov? I bet you Kucherov has 3 or more points in game 2. I just like Tampa. I like Tampa. Bridgie?
Yeah, I'm going to have to stick with my guns and go Colorado 7. I think that'd be great. It's going to go back and forth. I can feel it. But I don't know. I think Vasilevsky's he's gonna steal some games here and get Tampa some wins. And Stamkos, he's gonna get on a roll. It'll be interesting to see. You mentioned Braden Point and coming back and not looking that great last night. It will be interesting to see what he looks like in game 2. And is it gonna take him some? It's gonna take a lot of time to get back to game speed. But he's so skilled. He's so gifted athletically that. Might take a few games to get back into it, but I hope he's healthy. He's probably not 100% at this point, but you know that having him even at 80% is better than
absolutely. And Kadri, speaking of health, he took a 40-minute session before game 1 out there trying some stuff out. Highly unlikely we see him. They're optimistic maybe if it goes deep for a 6 or 7, maybe he could come back, but feel gutted for Nas. He's just such a popular guy. He's a grinder. He's done so well for himself in Colorado. It's a contract year. It would just be nice if we could see him get on the ice too. Clarky, go ahead.
No, so there was something happened in last night's game that we've just taken for granted now in the last, I don't know, dozen years or longer, probably even more. Late in the game, Patty Maroon with the puck flips it over the glass. Penalty. It's an automatic penalty. I hate the call. I mean, I know it was the right call. Don't get me wrong. But I just think if you're looking at revisiting some of the rules, and I know why it was put into place because guys were flipping it over the glass on purpose to kill time. But there's no way in the world the guy was doing it on purpose because he knows he's going to get a penalty. And I think ultimately that cost them the game because they never recovered. There wasn't a stoppage in play, I don't think, in overtime after they got back to full strength. And even though it wasn't a power play goal, it was a continuation. But
I understand.
I hate it. And I just wish they would revisit some of the rules. I don't like the trapezoid either. I like to see the goalies go out and get the puck. There's maybe those a couple of things I would like to see somehow of a tweak. Like that could happen in game 7 and it sucks and it's awful.
Well, don't flip. I mean, I don't know.
I hear you, but
I liked it personally because I do not want to go back to the New Jersey Devil era, flipping it out every 5 seconds to give Marty a break. You know, I like the speed of the game and the way it moves. I have no problem with this being a power play. You got to be responsible for your stick. It's no different than high sticking. You got to be responsible with it. But that's an interesting thing. So would you say that changing that would be your number one rule that you'd want to change, Clarky? If you,
I don't know. It's a good question. I would have to maybe think about that question.
Well, you think about it. I don't, because I know what mine would be. Bridgie, is there one rule in the NHL, hockey in general, that you would love to change if you could? What would it be?
I think personally, the NHL has made a lot of great adjustments over the years, and
me too.
The icing one has been huge. That has saved a lot of guys from being injured. We can go on all day about little tweaks like that they've made, but with the puck being flipped over the glass, they should hire a group and get them to study exactly where if you could collect all the delay of game penalties where the pucks have gone out and put it together and see exactly where they were flipped out. I guarantee you a lot of them are probably around the neutral zone where the glass is a little bit lower.
For sure.
I wonder if you raised the glass up another 3 feet, that's a lot. If you raised the glass up through the neutral zone, I wonder if that would keep the play moving. Rather
You remember
than
Mitch Marner in the
like-
playoffs last year? Did it twice in the Montreal
Yeah.
He was
series.
deep in his
Once when they were
Yeah.
He
down.
was deep in his own zone when he did. He was in the
Yeah.
middle of the ice. Now,
Oh yeah.
but that said, though,
Yeah, no, that was stupidity.
I actually like that. I wouldn't have an issue at all with them raising the glass
Yeah.
to keep this from happening as often. I wouldn't have a problem with that at all.
Why not? Why not? Just why do we have the glass up here and then dip down? Let's just keep it up.
It's an
around the
an
way.
adjustment. I mean, it's essentially a rule change. So I mean, that counts in my opinion, and I support it. I don't know if you thought any more about yours, Clarky. I'll tell you.
I don't know. Yeah,
You already brought it up. The trapezoid. I've had enough.
Yeah.
I hate it. I've said
hate
this
it
to
too.
both of you numerous times. My least favorite thing about the ice surface. Cannot stand it. I think it's dumb, and I think it restricts goaltenders who are great at playing the puck from making a difference on outlet plays, stretch passes to catch guys shorthanded on power plays, on a change. I just can't stand it, and I think it's a thing that would actually help the game keep moving along a little faster.
Yeah,
for
I
goalies
agree.
to be able to
And
come
prevent D from getting squished in the corners too.
100% on those near icing things where it's maybe not called. Yeah. I don't know. I just think, and if goalies that are bad at playing the puck go out and get burned, like we saw Mike Smith do, who Mike Smith, to be fair, is a good puck player, but look what happened to him in that final game where they lost to Colorado. Too bad.
Yeah. I think
Bad.
the change I would like to see, and it's not a particular rule, and I've said it many times on this show, is have an official upstairs to be able to overrule or make calls.
Oh, I love that one too.
I think the
Jeez.
game is just too fast for two guys on the ice. Either leave two there, fine, but have a guy upstairs, or go to one on the ice and one upstairs. And when guys like start, holding their mouth after clearly not getting hit, aka Tampa in the Leaf series, there's got to be some recourse and say, wait a minute, no, he didn't get hit. This wasn't a penalty. Let's move on and give that guy an embellishment. I just think there needs to be a little more help. And we're not like taking the game to a robot. It's still people, but it's upstairs instead of down.
Yeah,
Yep.
no, you're 100% correct, Clark. Yeah, I agree with you. The right calls need to be made. They really do. Baseball, they're doing a great job with their instant replays and getting the plays right and making sure that what happened years ago that could have been a difference maker in a game don't happen anymore. So yeah.
And look at the offside with Colorado and Edmonton. Like when, I guess the one angle showed that the puck wasn't on Makar's stick as he went over, and there's no way he meant to not touch the puck in my mind before the guy came out. There's no way.
I know
that
exactly
was going so fast.
I know what you mean, and by the letter of the law,
Yep. Oh yeah, it was onside.
it wasn't on his stick, but
he was in control of the puck.
That's the thing, though, is that was a subjective call that I don't think any amount of extra officials, cameras, whatever would fix, because possession is subjective. Because as you're skating with your head down, pushing the puck up the ice, and every couple strides, you're bumping it a couple inches ahead.
Right. Yeah.
In that instance where you bump it a couple inches ahead to go and keep pushing it, do you have possession? So,
Absolutely, you do.
So, yeah, I feel the same
but
way.
He didn't touch it. And it looked like on that one angle, on the game broadcast angle, that he did have possession and he was touching the puck. But
Because they
the
changed
other
it.
side, the angle on the other side showed that the puck was about 2 millimeters off his stick.
Yeah, it was just rolling up in the air, because they changed it a few years ago. And I remember this well when they first changed it. It was about 2-3 seasons ago. There was a goal that Kuznetsov scored, and it ended up counting because they changed the rule where you could skate backwards over the blue line and have your body go into the zone before the puck, as long as the puck was on your stick as you breached the line. And he had it on the very heel of his stick, and the goal ended up counting. And I can't remember who the Caps were playing that night, but the other coach was furious, but they changed that. So, they keep on changing the offside rules and the way it's interpreted. And I don't know what they're telling the linesmen, but I just think, I agree. They could get another guy up there to help.
And
just help.
Yeah, exactly. And to change topics, Get your reaction as we're live here on, this night tonight. Thursday night,
the 16th.
The Montreal Canadiens have rid themselves of the Shea Weber contract. He is now a member of the Las Vegas Golden Knights, and they get Evgeny Dadonov back. They just wanted to get out from under that contract, in my mind, and they did it.
It's obviously a great trade for Montreal, and Dadonov's actually a useful player that they will probably flip next year because they're going to be so bad. He's
got 1 year left, I think, Dadonov.
And that's why he'll be flipped. They'll retain whatever salary he has. They'll retain 50% and get some picks for him. I actually wouldn't be surprised because I think he's a good player. I wouldn't be surprised if he was on Shane Wright's right side to start Shane Wright's career, assuming, of course, they take Shane Wright, which I feel like they will. But yeah, it's here's a rule as we bring Shea Weber up, and Bridgie, before we switch to talking about our Jays, a team that we all share an affinity for, which is rare amongst our friend group. I want your opinion on this. One thing they should change, and I hate this. I've hated it for the entirety of it. It all started with the Luongo thing. We all remember the Kovalchuk debacle, the 17-year thing that they next. I cannot stand that when Shea Weber retires, which we all feel he's probably going to do within the next couple weeks here, that Nashville and Montreal will get a cap recapture penalty for that. We see it with the Canucks and the Panthers already with the Luongo signing. And Chicago, I believe, when Keith retires, because he had a 12-year deal, will get dinged with a cap recapture as well. I can't stand that. I'm all for, you know what, the salary cap is what it is, and it bothers everybody, and it's added a new level of strategy and roster management, and fine, I'm all for that, but it's already hard enough for teams to keep guys together, and then you're adding this goofiness in for contracts that when they were signed were legal. And I can't, that blows my mind. You can't. So, Bridgie, as an example, and I'd love your opinion on it. For an example, before I pass it to you, cannabis is legal in Canada now. And it has been for a couple of years. So imagine now cannabis is legal. I've got some. I'm walking down the street. Then all of a sudden, in the wee hours of the morning, the government decides it's no longer legal, and a guy saw me a week ago with some on my back porch, and now I get arrested for that. That's literally what this is like. It was legal then. You can't arrest me now for something that I was doing whilst legal. So it really bothers me. It pisses me off to no end. Gary's got this goofy salary cap world, and they do everything they can with these punitive little measures to screw teams over. It's dumb. What's your opinion on it? I hate it.
No, and I'm in agreement with you as well. I think that you nailed it on the head. Perfect.
I don't know what it does. Who's this benefit?
What?
I have no idea what the point of it is.
Yeah, no, I understand. I understand exactly where you're getting at, and no, I don't like it either. Because it's already tough enough with the salary cap to keep core teams together. And we talked about it minutes ago about teams that have done a good job keeping the core together. But it is tough when you've got money lingering over your head that is going to somebody else. Gary Bettman, I'm not sure whether he's got something in there to benefit himself. I wouldn't put it past him.
Well, yeah, Gary, it's literally going to happen. It's happening as we speak to Minnesota. Because remember, the whole thing was they got Fleury and they went all in because they're going to get nailed with a huge cap recapture for Parise and Suter. And I think it's to the tune of almost $11 million of dead cap on Minnesota's cap, a good young upcoming team. And now they've got this giant chunk of money for deals that were legal. And now this. So what are they going to do when some of their guys come up? The Greenways of the world, Joel Eriksson Ek. It's a joke. It's such a joke. He's hurt. They're hurting teams, especially these up and coming teams like a Minnesota, with these punitive measures that are absolutely stupid. All right.
All right, hold on. We got
Okay,
some
yeah,
more
go
news.
ahead.
Got some more news.
More
and
news.
You know what? We might as well keep talking hockey if there's more news to come. John
Sure.
Tortorella and the Philadelphia Flyers have agreed on a deal. So he will be the new head coach there. I think I heard that your old buddy there, Trotz, turned down a big deal with the Flyers. So maybe he was the second choice. But Torts in Philadelphia just seems to be a perfect fit for like a psycho fan base for a psycho coach.
Years ago, maybe Torts would maybe hang him up. I didn't know if anybody would want to bring on his craziness, but hey, a market like Philly, why not? Why not give it a try? He's going to have to change his style of coaching, I believe. And again, personal opinion.
He's not going to change. Like honestly, I don't think he'll change.
The younger kids, you're not going to grab their attention acting like he does. I'm sorry. It's just there's a new wave of players. Yeah, that's old school. You would have gained respect from players 7, 8, 10 years ago, kicking garbage cans, yelling and screaming and pointing guys out in the room individually. That's not going to work in today's NHL. And they will start blocking him out after the first 6 months if he's just going to continue to do that.
I will say, just from a bit of an insider seat here, if you will, I do think he has changed quite a bit from those early Tampa days where, you know, Vinny Lecavalier and Brad Richards have famously said we couldn't stand Torts. He was really hard on us, and there were times where he went over the line. They won the Stanley Cup. And then, you know, time went by and he had to adjust. And I think the Vancouver debacle really taught him a lot, because then he went to Columbus, and say what you will about Torts, he will squeeze every last ounce out of that Philly team, who I do not think is very good. They have a long way to go, but he will get every ounce. And you know what? My cousin Brad was his assistant coach in Columbus, and he loved him and said that he was great, and the young guys actually really gravitated to him. And Cam Atkinson, who played there and is now on the Flyers, echoed similar comments. He said, I'm very excited to have Torts back. So I think that from a coaching perspective, this is not the worst move in the world, and the fans there will love him. He can be abrasive. He puts on a show for the media. I'll say this, he's a very nice man, and he treated my cousin extremely well. And the rest of the coaching staff that was there with him had absolutely glowing things to say about him. That's all I'll say about Torts, but it's an interesting hire. Philadelphia they're grasping at straws really across their sports landscape.
Yeah, they are. And speaking of interesting, the Pasternak and Cassidy stuff going on in Boston's quite the story as well. That's rolling out there.
Well, I mean, look, like, guys aren't going to get along sometimes. It just is what it is. I think Cassidy's a fantastic coach. I think Vegas made
the playoffs every year.
I think, look where he came from. His first gig was with the Caps right as Ovi was rolling in, and it did not go well. Now, that team was very bad. Mm-hmm. They were very bad. Trust me, I remember. They were atrocious, and he got submarined. You know, he was the fall guy there. And the next couple coaches after him didn't do too well either till Brucey showed up. So I think it's a great move for Vegas. You want a hot take? It's lost. I think they're winning that division next year. I'm going to call it right now. And Bruce Cassidy will win Coach of the Year. 2 hot takes for you. How about that? What do you think, Bridgie?
I've always liked Bruce Cassidy, and I think he's going to do great in Vegas. Clarky, you know, watching the Leafs against the Bruins the last couple of years, we're going back. We're going back 3-4 years now.
Yeah, a lot of first-round losses.
To Bruce Cassidy.
Thanks, Drury.
Thanks, Brian. Hopefully we can change that. But he's a tough guy to I just thought he coached the Bruins really well. And that's just from what I've seen watching game after game that the Leafs and the Bruins played in the playoffs. I thought that he's just done a fantastic job coaching the Bruins. And you're right, guys just aren't going to get along. It's just the way life is. Not everybody is going to be buddy, especially at the highest level in the world. So I think that he's going to do great in Vegas. It's a new chapter for him, and I think he's going to do just fine. But I think he's a great coach.
Speaking of
Yeah.
Vegas, I guess the NHL awards are going back to Vegas next week. I mean, I'm assuming they're in Vegas. They usually are. But
They are in Vegas. Yeah.
So Norris, who do we got? We got Hedman, Makar, and Yossi. Is that right?
Yeah.
Who do you like, Bridgie?
Cale Makar, love him.
Yeah.
Ever since he played his first NHL game, he's been on my. I've never owned him in fantasy. Every year, every month, I try to get him, but he'll give him up. So always liked him. He's a great defenseman. I know that a lot of guys that I talk to, they like that. Oh, he's a true defenseman. We need a stay-at-home guy. That's who's going to win the Norris. Harden their own end. And Cale Makar is not tough enough, and I think he brings everything to the table.
Yeah, I think he's actually underrated for how physically tough he can be. He throws some hits out there.
Yeah.
And it's because he's such a powerful skater. He moves really well. I think he's the closest thing I've seen to Scott Niedermayer in a really, really long time. I do kind of giggle to myself though, and for the record, I pick him too. Roman Yossi might be the most well-rounded defenseman in the league. Victor Hedman is Victor Hedman. I mean, we are splitting hairs here, but I think Makar deserves this. It does bother me a little bit though that now these guys that put up the gaudy offensive numbers are automatically always getting in the conversation. It still bothers me that Mike Green got shafted that one year that he scored 30 goals. They're like, oh, well, he doesn't play defense that well. He just skates up the ice, much like Cale Makar does now. And I'm not saying he's a bad defender, but that bothered me. He scored 30 goals. Give me a break.
Yeah, it wouldn't shock me if Hedman won it.
It wouldn't
shock me if either of them won it.
Yeah.
All three.
Yeah.
How do you vote for that? I think Makar, but
Okay, how about the Vezina? Markstrom, Saros, and Shesterkin.
It's not even close.
Yeah. I mean, the Rangers probably wouldn't make the playoffs. Well, maybe they would make the playoffs, but
Igor Shesterkin
guy.
had the highest goals saved above average in the league this year and in the playoffs.
Yeah.
He is the New York Rangers, and that's a little disrespectful.
No, I
Their
agree.
team is very good, and boy, look how far they've come
think
in
they're
what
good.
3 years.
I don't know if they're very good. I think they're good.
Well, where was Toronto? We're talking about a team.
If you put Shesterkin on Toronto, they're still playing.
They probably are.
Absolutely,
He's not
they
on
are.
Toronto. Is he?
No, I know that, Ryan.
Well,
Thank
so there
very
you
much.
go.
Thank you.
That team, Shesterkin can't score.
But he can steal you.
I agree with you.
He can steal you games, but
They're
it
an
doesn't
average
matter.
team with an outstanding goaltender.
I think they're better than average. I don't think that talent-wise up front they have
They're
what
good.
the Leafs have.
No,
But Chris Kreider scored over 50 goals this year. Panarin's there.
He's
They got
Cy
the
Young
kid
winner,
line.
right? 50 and what? 5? How many assists?
Doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter because he went to the conference final, didn't he? And he can jump out of pools.
Yeah.
I just don't even think there's a discussion to have.
No,
here.
I don't think so
Markstrom would
either.
maybe be the closest.
He'll be second.
simply because he led the league in shutouts. Shesterkin his numbers
100%.
were gross.
Okay, what do we got? Calder. Who's up for the Calder besides my guy?
Well,
So
Mike Bunting, Mo Sider, and Trevor Zegras, and
Cider, I guess, will win it. But Bunting's got a
Bridgie-
good.
well, he has a good. Of course, he has a good case. Bridgie, I don't know. I'll let you pick first. Who do you think should win the Calder?
Well, obviously my heart lies with Michael Bunting. Yeah, I've read all the articles. Yeah, I've heard all the press conferences about the age and where he is, but he's technically considered a rookie. And yes, he played on the first line with Austin Matthews, and
he played well on it,
and he did, and he had to pull his weight. Austin isn't skating up and down the ice for Michael Bunting. It's Michael Bunting doing Michael Bunting things, and I thought he pulled his weight. I thought he did well. I thought that he didn't look out of place at all on the first line, and that's huge. He had a phenomenal year. Trevor Zegras, he's a highlight reel, that's for sure. Night after night, practice after practice, he's doing unreal things. Again, that's the next generation coming up, and you're going to see more of it. And Sider had a great year as well for Detroit on a bad team. But yeah, I think Michael Bunting, my heart lies with him, and I hope he wins it.
Yeah, I
agree with you.
and he deserves to be in the conversation. But when I look at what Mo Seider did on a very bad team that young as a defenseman, which in my opinion might be the hardest skater position to come into the NHL and do what he did at that age, like I'm not saying he's going to be Nick Lidstrom 2.0, but he shows a lot of the same attributes. Boy, for like a 20-year-old kid, he has a lot of poise back there. He was Detroit's best player all year. Like, say what you want about what Tyler Bertuzzi did, and he was good. And Dylan Larkin's still a good player. Mo Seider was the reason you tuned in. Like, he was unbelievable. They've got a number of good young players there, but I just think Seider, after coming in from playing in the German league, the Dell, which no disrespect to that is not the NHL, wins a championship there, and then comes over here and does this. Mm-hmm. You know, I will, if I'm going to split hairs, which I love Michael Bunting, and I will use this to split hairs because I think they're both very deserving. And Trevor Zegras is a freak. Like, he's going to be an entertaining player for years and years. I think he's a step below in this conversation. I will, if I'm going to split hairs, hold the fact against Michael Bunting that this was his 7th year of professional hockey. I know it's not his 7th year in the NHL, but it is his 7th year of pro hockey, and it was not for Mo Seider. It was his second. Mm-hmm. Technically his 3rd. He played half a year in Germany. But yeah, okay. I think it's Seider. I just think it's Seider.
Okay, final. Hart. Matthews, McDavid, Shesterkin.
This is the toughest one next to the Norris for me. Bridgie, I don't know what your thoughts are. Oh. I feel like I know what your thoughts are.
Again, my heart lies with Austin Matthews. And he was awesome this year. Phenomenal this year.
He's a freak.
With what he did when it came to scoring goals, night after night, he's showing up. He's playing hurt. He's playing through injuries. He comes back. He doesn't miss a beat. He was the heartbeat of the Maple Leafs on the offensive line. So I thought that he had a great year, and good for him. He's getting stronger every year, and he takes a lot of criticism playing in Toronto, which sucks, but that's the media for you in Toronto, and he just rises above and puts all the doubters to bed all the time. So I thought he had a great year, but like you said, we're splitting hairs again because Connor McDavid is phenomenal, and so is Shesterkin. He had a great year too.
Clarky, I'd love your opinion before I offer.
Well, I think Matthews. Well, here's the deal. I'll give you reasons why I think he'll win and reasons why I think he might not win. First of all, I think he'll win because I think he's the best player. It's the hardest thing to do is score goals. He did it 60 times. And I think he will get a lot of the American vote as well because they like their own down there, and they do that. The reason I don't think he may not win is because the media in Canada, outside of Toronto, and even some inside Toronto, hate the Leafs. So they may not. And believe me, like, I would love to say that it's media votes on this, right, Ryan? I'm not wrong, right?
Yeah.
So they, as much as you'd like to think they vote with a straight mind, they don't.
We know they don't.
We've seen it before. Right? Like, he probably won't get any votes out of Montreal.
2002 right? is the slam dunk example. Jerome McGinley won the Hart Trophy that year.
Absolutely, he did.
Jerome McGinley won the Hart Trophy. Yeah. And that's no disrespect to Jose Theodore, but we all know the famous story. The 3, I believe, Montreal media members that voted didn't have Iginla on their ballot.
I know. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. We know
and
why.
Again, a lot of them do it now. We see the TSN and the Sportsnet guys doing it. Guys now at ESPN, NBC over the years. Yeah. A lot of them make their ballots public. I think that should be a requirement.
100%.
You should have to make your ballot public and defend and not necessarily defend it, but you should float some thoughts out there on why you and I would have loved to have heard those 3 gentlemen that left Iginla off their ballot that year explain to me how that is possible.
Yeah. And I think he will get a couple of fourth and fifth place votes, and we'll know where they came from. But
well, fourth and fifth place is out of your mind. He's
I know what you're saying, but I'm just telling you,
second.
I wouldn't be surprised to see it. But I think Austin will win. I think he'll win, and I think he deserves to win.
I also think that, and I will disagree with you on him being the best player in the league. I don't think he is. However, I think he had the best season. And McDavid, yes, he had more points than him. And like McDavid is getting into Gretzky territory here and Lemieux territory. You could have given them the Hart every single year, basically, of their prime. Like Bobby Orr with the Norris. Yeah, of course Bobby Orr won it. Just give it to Bobby. Why is anybody else coming out? But we have to, break things down and look at things a little more in depth. And
yeah, I agree.
I agree with you that. And I think most sane fans would agree that the hardest thing to do is score goals. Mm-hmm. Goalies have never been better ever in the history of the NHL. The numbers prove it. Yep. And he scored 60 goals. Like, that's rarefied air. Yeah. We're talking about handfuls of guys, all-time greats that have scored 60 or more in a season. He's the first guy to do it since Stammer. It's the closest season I've seen to something like what Ovi did in 08-09. When he won all 4 major awards, by the way. He had the best year. Why are you laughing, man?
It always comes around to Ovi. Anyway,
it should, because he's the best goal scorer of all time.
Yeah. Okay.
And Matthews is the closest thing I've seen. He's not Ovi. He's pretty close.
He's got to do it over a long time to be that good.
And I think he can.
And here's the other thing. Just to finish my thought about the media and voting. Let's say Steve Simmons has a vote. We know the battle that Steve Simmons and Austin Matthews got in this year.
But that is
for you. I know it shouldn't matter.
I know. Like, you got to just vote on the ice.
Yeah. Ask Roger.
You got to vote with Barry Bonds. How
that is.
Okay. All right, we're all on the same page for that final award. Then Matthews, I think he deserves to win it. He did a disgusting amount of scoring, and who knows if he hadn't lost some of those games, what else he could have done point wise. So the 60 goals is incredible. You're the MVP of the league when you score 60, and no one else does that. Yeah. I think only 3 guys scored 50. I think it was just him, Kreider, and I'm pretty sure they were the only. Am I missing anybody? I don't think so. I think Draisaitl ended up with 45 or so. McDavid had 43. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they were the only 350s. So, and he had 60. That's rare. Right. Yeah. I think he's the Hart winner. I want to shift. We'll chat a little baseball now. We love the Jays. As we're speaking, they got waxed by the Orioles, which is not great. Kevin Gausman's having some struggles. The gas man is running on empty right now. He's got to figure some things out, tipping some pitches. I don't know. Pete Walker, I have no worries about Gausman. He'll figure it out. Just like Barrios is turning it around. Barrios has been really good the last little while now after a rocky start. Kikuchi still a little up and down. You bring up the Barry Bonds thing with the media voting. Yeah, it's the same thing. Like the Hall of Fame, I missed the memo where media voting on things has to come down to like how mean a guy was to you in a press conference. It's like, honestly, before we dig into the Jays, since you brought it up, Clark, I'd like your opinion on that too, Bridgie. This whole thing with guys in the steroid era in particular that aren't getting included in the Hall of Fame. And I'd throw Pete Rose in there too. I fully believe. I think it's embarrassing, Bridgie. Like, baseball profited and knew that guys were using steroids, and they were happy to line their pockets with it. And now that, it all came out, and yes, guys were using, and okay, fine. Now, we can't put them in the Hall of Fame. You still had to put bat to ball. Steroids, yeah, maybe it helped you hit it 50 feet further, but you still had to be an incredible hitter. And Barry Bonds is the most lethally scary hitter. I want everybody watching this to go look up Bonds' season in 2003 or 2004 and look at the amount of intentional walks that he was issued. And then look at his career numbers and look how many times he was intentionally walked with the bases loaded. This guy was the scariest man at the plate, steroids or not. And it bothers me immensely that guys like him, and you can throw whoever else you want in there, Canseco, Kurt Schilling for obviously his political views. It bothers me that guys aren't in the Hall of Fame. Pete Rose, the all-time leader in hits. He's not in the Hall of Fame. Barry Bonds is the all-time, statistically, without your asterisk, he's the all-time leader in home runs. He's not in the Hall of Fame. Roger Clemens is not in the Hall of Fame. It blows my mind. What's your opinion on that, Bridgie? I can't stand it. I think it's goofy.
No, you make a lot of strong points, and I agree with you on a lot of those points as well. When it comes to taking steroids, like, you're right, you still have to perform. You still have to hit the baseball. You still have to have a very high exit velocity. You got to have a strong swing through the strike zone. So you have to recognize balls and strikes, right? You're not going to, you still have to hit a good pitch. That's why golf doesn't make taking steroids illegal. Like, take steroids for all we care. Sure, you can hit the ball further. It's not going to make you a better golfer. No. You still have to be straight. You still have to place within the perimeter. So then if we're looking at this and saying we're not going to take him in the Hall of Fame, we're not going to take him in the Hall of Fame. Well, okay, what about all those pitchers that were using pine tar all these years? What about all these great pitchers that had substance in their glove? Are we going to start going back and really nitpicking? Because I think that is giving you more of an advantage than taking steroids.
Phil Niekro, his spitball. Yeah. All the way back through the years. And, there's a great channel on YouTube. You should check it out. Baseball Doesn't Exist. Did a great essay on the pitching substance thing, a couple of them actually, where examining the spider tack thing. And there's video of guys using it, in particular, now disgraced former Dodgers pitcher Trevor Bauer, who basically said, I intentionally used substances in certain innings, and you could track his spin rate where it would jet way up by almost 1,000. And then the next thing it would go back, because he said, I would use the substance just to show, like, hey, these guys are using this, and you're not going to do anything. Well, then I'm going to use it now. And he won a Cy Young and got that big deal in LA. And now, of course, he's rightly so in a lot of trouble and probably will never pitch again, at least not in Major League Baseball. But I digress. The video basically said, like, there were guys undercover speaking anonymously in the baseball world that said, yep, guys in our clubhouse were using this, and it's more effective for a pitcher than steroids for a batter.
Yeah.
Because when you can move a ball in insane ways and have that type of spin rate, where the whole thing with the spin rate, for people who are like, what does it matter, the spin rate? You can't see the laces. So as the ball spins faster, especially on breaking balls, like a slider, a curveball, a changeup, if you can't see the laces as clearly, the reactivity in your brain is so short to decide whether you want to swing or not, that when you can't see the laces, your brain has a harder time picking up where the ball is and where it's going to be, more crucially. So that's why it's such a demonstrably wild thing to be able to increase. If you can get your spin rate up, you're going to get money. You're going to get a lot of money. And guys were using this. And I mean, are we going to go back and Phil Niekro and guys that were
Nolan
doing
Ryan,
this, that, and the other, rubbing stuff on the ball. Yeah, they're not in the Hall of Fame now?
Going to bring Nolan Ryan into this? I mean, the guy would go out and pitch 190 pitches a game in 11 innings. It's like, you're telling me he's not using a substance to get through that? We're going to talk about bringing him out of the Hall? Like, it's getting pretty wild.
Yeah, guys boiling Coke and dipping their finger in the thing. Like, come on here, And what bothers me the most about those guys is that the media is so in control of who gets in the Hall of Fame. Yes, I understand that there's a veterans committee who have gotten guys in, but they just don't like guys. And from the league's perspective, it bothers me a lot that it is well-known knowledge that they knew guys were doing this, and they were happy to see the profits soar as guys' home run totals went to 60 and 70. And like, it just bothers me that now those guys that you were happy to make money off of Bud Selig, well, they can't go in the Hall now because their arms were a little bigger than everybody else's. It's stupid to me. Anyway, like I could understand if it was wrestling or something and guys were taking steroids that weren't supposed to.
They don't take steroids, the wrestlers.
I more mean like Olympic wrestling or like a weightlifting competition where like the strength actually matters. Bridgie, I want your opinion on what the Jays need to do here. We just watched them get waxed on Thursday here in the final of a 4-game series that they split with Baltimore. Not great, but Hyunjin Ryu, who was great the first couple of years and now injury rule, he's out for the rest of the year. And now they've got some issues with the gas man, Kikuchi's a little this and that. Chicken Strips, Ross Stripling, has been filling in as a starter, doing really well.
Yeah.
But he's more of a guy that I think you want as a long reliever or a guy that eats up 3 or 4 when a starter's struggling or maybe out of the pen. So he usually only pitches 4, maybe 5 innings, right? I think they really need to get another arm.
Yeah.
And probably another bullpen arm too. What's your opinion on the season so far? They've really turned it around, but what's your opinion on the way the roster sits right now? What do you think that they should do?
With the news of Ryu, they need some help with the starting rotation. Ross Stripling, he's done everything you've asked of him so far this year.
It's been great.
Awesome teammate. The guy's a great pitcher. He can start for you. He can come out of the bullpen. I like that idea of having him as a long reliever. And why not, if you're Charlie Montoyo, start messing with some things here a little bit. Like you look at what the Rays are doing with over the last couple of years, they've put relievers in to start the game and roll from there. Like if you're Charlie, not do that, but just start working with some different ways here with the rotation as well. Kikuchi, I've never been sold on him. When they brought him in, I know a lot of people were happy. It's a left arm, but I don't know. I know the market's tough out there. Nobody wants to give up talent. I understand that. But Pete Walker, Jays fans have to remember, is a awesome pitching coach, and he can really help bring guys out of funks. So I think that Pete Walker is going to work well with the rotation that they have. Getting another arm in is crucial right now. And the bullpen, Romano was getting a lot of work at the beginning of the season. I was a little worried about that, and now he's hardly pitched the last couple of weeks. But getting him back getting him a little bit of rest was huge. But they need these starters to start going 6-7 innings. And I'm sorry, but Charlie Montoyo, if a guy's into the 6th, 7th inning and he's in that 80, 90 pitches, don't take him out. Let him pitch. Give the bullpen that rest that they deserve. And sometimes he's been yanking guys a little too early, and then the bullpen blows it, and then they're working through more arms that night when you just should have left your starter in a little longer. So, but they're doing a great job managing things. I can't complain. I think they're doing a great job, and they're a young team, so Jays fans need to be a little patient here. They've got a lot of young talent that's full of piss and vinegar. So let's work with them and let's watch them grow together. But let's get another arm for the rotation.
I agree, and I'll just end it by saying, there are arms available, and there are going to be more arms available as more teams start to peter off here. I mean, look, if you want to get out into the big names, they've already mined the Oakland A's and got Matt Chapman. Frankie Montas is not long for the Oakland A's. He will be traded. I know the White Sox have been sniffing around, but he's out there. He's a bigger name on the market, sure, and maybe that's a little unrealistic because you'd have to give up a lot for him, sure. Luis Castillo, a name that's been rumored for a number of years now. Cincinnati absolutely stink. I don't know what it would do for them to hold on to him. Maybe a less sexy name for you. The Detroit Tigers are atrocious, and they actually rank dead last in every major offensive category. Dead last across all of them. The Tigers went big on some signings. It's not worked out. So maybe a name that's maybe not going to cost you a Montas level of stuff or a Castillo necessarily. Tarek Skubal has been their best pitcher, and he's been very effective for them. Probably one of the only little bright spots that the Tigers fans have been able to enjoy. So I wonder if they look across the border at Detroit and say, I don't think Tarek Skubal would cost a demonstrable amount of assets in comparison to those first two guys I brought up. But there are going to be arms. Arms are available, and I think now with Ryu going down, the Jays need it. And there's some guys in the bullpen that are struggling a bit too. Trevor Richards has been Simber even a little bit's been getting knocked around. So I definitely think they need some help, but it'll be interesting to see. Clark, you got anything to add?
No, I'm just enjoying listening to you guys. That's no. You know what? Like, I've never been a Ryu fan. Like, yeah, he was good maybe the first couple of years, and like, I hate to say an injury could be a blessing in disguise, but it's going to make them go out and get a starter. Yeah. And
I think they have to.
They absolutely have to.
I think they have to.
Because they would have just kept throwing him out there every 5 days, and I think that could have hurt them in the long run. So. Yeah, I think it is a blessing in disguise, and get out there and get one of those guys you mentioned, or whoever, someone else. Like they'll add to it. They're in this. The Yankees are on fire, but the Jays are right there in the wild card, and they'll add a pitcher for sure.
Yeah, as we speak, the Jays are 9 games back of the Yankees, and that's after the Jays had a pretty torrid run. The Yankees and the Mets.
And I won the bet. It was over after the second game. The attendance bet we had. It's over.
It's not actually, but
it is over, Ryan. How is it not over?
We'll see what the final tally is.
They can't average 50,000.
We'll see what the final tally is at the end of the year. I'm going to wait till the end of the year.
They would average 50,000 people this year.
No, I didn't. I said they'd break attendance records.
They can't.
Well,
what did they say the attendance was today?
Break an attendance record.
I can't remember. It was over 20,000.
It's impossible. I hate to tell you.
Yeah, I think it might have been. Yeah, a lot of people left after the fifth inning. But
they had a lot of school trips go down there today.
Yeah,
schools from all over the GTA and all over this area.
Afternoon game.
They've had like 14,000 at games too. So
they'll figure it out. All right, Bridgie, we really appreciate you doing this, my friend. Congrats on the new position. I'm looking forward to bugging you around September time, late August, to pluck your brain about what the Mitchell Hawks roster will look like. It's going to feel weird not having you in the booth with me and Steve, but we're proud of you, man. We're so excited for you, and I think you're going to do a great job. Thanks for chatting sports with us, and best of luck with the Hawks this year, my friend.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Ryan, Chris, for having me on. It's going to be weird as well. Every Friday night for the last 10 years, finish supper and drive to a rink to call a game with your game notes in hand. So it's going to be different riding with some coaches and some execs to games and standing down at the boards. So it's going to be different. But looking forward to the challenge, and looking forward to having a conversation late August, early September, where we can actually dig in to the actual players and what the team looks like. Because right now it's a lot of stuff's just under the hat and can't let a lot of details out. So I can't wait to finally discuss the outcome there.
The life of a GM, eh? Oh, the secret.
Welcome. Yes.
Gotta love it.
Listen to Bridgie. Sounds like a seasoned veteran. Cards on the chest.
Cannot confirm or deny.
No JFJs here. All right. We appreciate everybody watching. Remember, Friday nights at 8, Sunday nights at 9 with our friends on Whiteman TV. That's channel 6 for Whiteman subscribers. We debut on our YouTube channel Friday nights at 9. Follow us on social media at Instigating Pod. We're on all the best podcast apps. We appreciate you guys listening to and watching the show, which is brought to you as always by Coolbet Canada, the Listowel Squash Courts, Listowel Vision Care, See the Game, and our friends at Hanover Raceway. For myself, Ryan Drury, that's Clarky, and our friend, Mr. Scott Bridge, the GM of the Mitchell Hawks. Boy, it still feels weird to say that, eh? We really appreciate you guys listening to and watching Instigating with Clarky and Drury. We'll be back next week.